as a producer, have you worked with anyone that people may know?
But yeah, like Shitty Boys, BabyTron, Rio Da Yung OG, like Y&J, I Swear Vezo, like Skilla Baby. A lot of like the big Detroit rappers.
If I didn't do content, I would have lost a lot of value.
I feel like the content right now is kind of king.
I remember at the time when I decided that being a music artist wasn't for me, it seemed like I'm throwing away these 16 albums and all this momentum that I built up, but then I realized me being the artist taught me to move like an artist.
But make good art though too, like don't just be making stuff to try to go viral. I don't think that's gonna stand the test of time.
The highest I ever got was from an edible. I had a friend named Marie and she made a puppy chow. I full sent it and I ate cold back. What's up everyone? Welcome back to Free Game of Crack Podcast. Today I got Danny G Beats in the building.
Yeah, man. Shit. Not much, bro. I just drove from Detroit. It was like a little hour and 15.
Okay. Nice bluffs, by the way.
Thank you, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So,
Shout out to Kamal.
where's that?
That's at it's in Greenfield Plaza in Southfield.
Is that the go-to spot for some buffs?
I mean, it's definitely one of them for sure. Yeah, you're gonna get a good deal from Kamal for sure.
How much do brand new buffs cost?
Like if you get them from
Was it brand new?
like brand new, like if you get them brand new from the jewelry store or the Cartier store, they're like white buffs are gonna be like 3,200 or like they could be more than that too. I think like the white Premier ones are like more. These are like the black ones, Premiers.
They're nice.
Thank you. But yeah, you can low key get like basically brand new buffs, you know, for like 2,100 to 2,600, like for real.
Do you remember how it felt the first time you put on some buffs?
Oh, like my own buffs?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I put on like the homies buffs before, like, and that's cool, but it doesn't feel as cool as like when you get your own. Cause it was like it's not that important to me. But it's definitely like a cool like thing. Like it's like, oh cool, like I have my own pair of buffs now. Like, because when I was younger, like I just didn't have the money for it or anything.
Well, real quick, for the people that are discovering you for the very first time right now, how would you introduce yourself? Like what I say is, if you get in an Uber and the Uber driver's like, "Hey, young man, tell me about yourself. What do you do? What do you do?"
A fucking homeless vagrant.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm not homeless. I have a pretty nice house.
Nice.
I mean, humbly, like it's pretty nice. It's like a chill house. I have a good living situation. So I'm not homeless. But no, man, I just I'm a music producer, engineer, and I just I don't know. I like to make songs, bro, and I like to travel. And I like to meet people, and I don't know. That's like kind of all I do.
And then, as a producer, have you worked with anyone that people may know?
Oh yeah, like BabyTron. I got like pretty much I got like my footing in the door with like BabyTron for like Shitty Boys. Actually, I would say Shitty Boys, but yeah, like Shitty Boys, BabyTron, Rio Da Yung OG. Pretty much everybody in his camp, like Y&J and all them guys, RMC Mike. I Swear Vezo, like a lot of like the big Detroit rappers. I've worked with Skilla Baby before too, and just some dudes from out of town like Peso, and I'd have to think, man. I got a lot of shit too.
Yeah.
La Tyler, like BLP Kosher,
Keep going.
Certified Trapper.
Go.
Damn, dude. Filthy Rich. Trying to think of who else, like Warhol. Shit, I don't know.
And then, right as of right now, we're in 2025. Like, what year did most of that stuff start to happen for you?
So like 2020, like it was like the end of 2019, I think. That's when I met Shitty Boys. That's like, well, Instagram. And we lived in Ypsilanti together. We all lived in Ypsilanti. Like Tron lived in Belleville, which was like 10 minutes from my house. And then the other guys lived like 5-10 minutes. Like I think TRD lived like 5 minutes from me. So, but I just on Instagram, I like tagged them in a beat. Shout out to my ex-girlfriend now. But it's all love though, for real. She actually really like pushed me to like make like a Shitty Boys beat because I was playing their music. And she's like, you should do that. Like, you should just send them a beat. So I almost didn't do it, but like low key, like she really like inspired me to do that.
She's a staple in the story.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like a lot of the shit that I did, like she for sure like was like, you should do this and you should do that for real. But anyways, no, I'm not gonna say her name, but she knows who she is. If she ever watches this, she won't watch it, but you know. But shout out to her.
Okay.
But yeah, basically I did that, and actually they responded. It was like the first shitty. Well, it was Stan Will that responded, and he sent me the song right back and was like, "You got any more of these?" And I'm like, "No, but I can make them." So, because I never made like a Shitty Boy beat, which is like kind of like a retro sounding like. They rapped on like freestyle, 80s freestyle like songs. And
Yeah,
stuff.
upbeat though. Like
I didn't
that's
even. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I just kind of started working with Stan and then TRD, and then I kind of like I started working like I was getting like noticed a little bit, at least from the producers. So I just started like I just kept building the network, and I met Lando after a while. Like I met Tron and we were making songs.
That's the hip hop live, right?
Yeah. Actually, the first time I worked with Tron, he made my beat tag. The "oh shit, it's a Danny G beat." That tag, like that, like he was like, "I'm gonna make you a tag," and then that's all he said.
Do you remember what studio you're at?
Grove Studios in Ypsilanti.
Okay.
Yeah. Shout out to Grove too. So yeah, it was that I met Lando. Lando was opening a studio. This is like 2020 now. At that point,
Yeah.
end of 2020. Like I'm going to school, and I'm trying to do the beats. Sound recording technology.
Okay.
At Schoolcraft in Livonia.
Okay.
But I like, bro, I don't know. I have ADHD like crazy.
Hey, shout out ADHD. I got it severely. You know, if
Yeah,
you're creative, you're tuned in. You probably have some ADHD too.
Yeah, so I got ADHD. I'm not really that good in school. Like I am, but it's just like it was boring. But I learned some shit low key. But really, what it was like, I got an opportunity to work at a studio, and it was like a studio that was lit because Lando had the platform, the Hip Hop Lab platform.
Yeah.
And so he already just had people that were just gonna come. This is before like BabyTron was like that big. Like people knew him and people fucked with him, but like he didn't have like the respect and like the accolades or the clout or whatever like yet. Like he just was still working. So like at the time, it was still like Hip Hop Lab though. Like just had the motion.
That was 2020.
Yeah, this is like 2020 at this point. So I mean, Tron and Shitty Boys had motion. I just mean like everybody came to the studio because they wanted to go to the Hip Hop Lab studio, and I'm the only engineer at that point. Like pretty much, we had like a couple guys, and they just like couldn't hang.
Okay.
And I wasn't even good at engineering at the time, so like I kind of just learned on the spot, and it was rough because I was recording in an FL Studio because that's all I knew because that's what I make beats on, and then when I was working there, like the first day or two, like my computer was like fucking up because it couldn't handle it. And then Lando was like, "Yo, you need to use Pro Tools." He pretty much basically put me in a situation like he was kind of telling me like, if you don't, like you got to leave type shit.
Okay.
But he wasn't like being a dick. He just was like, you just got to do that.
But you understood where he was coming from, like it.
Oh,
not make sense
absolutely.
for me.
No, absolutely. I was just at the time I was like, fuck, like I don't know how I'm gonna do this, and I just wasn't confident in my abilities. I was though. I was confident that I was like, I'll figure it out, which is what I did. Obviously, like fast forward, but that just brought me a lot of opportunities. Being there, like I was working with Shitty Boys, like before I met Lando, you know. So I just like was locked in with them already, like Tron, Standy, and then like just everybody was coming through. All the big rappers were coming through, and then everybody, you know, this is pandemic. Everybody had money, so everybody's spending money, and I never made money off music in my life before, and I was like selling beats like for $300, and I never sold a beat before.
And was that mostly because people heard your beats with these artists and they're like, oh shit?
Some of them were, but it was still too early on. Like I didn't really have like any like big, like really big songs yet. Like, and like I said, like people loved Shitty Boys, but like they still just didn't. I don't know. They still weren't big enough yet. I feel like some people did, but like really it was just like Lando. Like Lando's like, you're gonna sell beats for $300.
Okay.
And I'm talking about like 2020 though.
Yeah.
eventually, yeah, like 2021, 22, like things like picked up. Like I was getting songs. Like I was working a lot with Rio before he went to prison, and I think he went in like 2021. I think
Okay.
either 2021 or the beginning. I think it was 2021. It was.
Okay.
Yeah. But that was like big too. Like I just started working with him, and that was like really good. Like, and then I did Dope Fiend Friday with him, which came out in like 22, while he was locked up, and that was like one of his biggest songs. It was like the second most big song that he had for like 3 years.
How'd you figure out like the business side of it, like knowing what to charge? How do I make money as a producer? Like, what was that like?
That's like kind of a tricky question too, because I kind of was looking at what other people were doing too, and then I kind of like stuck with like the price like Lando kind of told me, because I just didn't know what to charge people. But um, I kind of learned like I can just charge whatever I want now. Like I just, you know, I feel like within reason too. Like I definitely cut people deals and stuff, but like the business, like as for if we're talking about like selling beats, I don't even really like to sell beats anymore.
Okay.
Not for
What do
real.
you
Like
do?
if it's convenient, like I had somebody buy like 3 beats. I just sold them for like 500 a piece. It was like on some quick shit, and that was cool. But I just don't really like. I still do, but I just don't put that much effort into it because I'm trying to get placements.
Okay.
Because like you know what I mean. I make like even like the Dope Fiend Friday song. Like I'm not gonna say how much I made or whatever, but it was definitely like on YouTube, like just the YouTube alone, it was a good enough, it was a good amount of money to let me know like, yo, like I could have sold this beat to anybody for $400 and like would have made like $2 off the publishing.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't have made shit off of it. So I put a lot into perspective, and that's not the first song that like I had a big song with Vezo that I made a few racks off of on YouTube that I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Like you could actually make like thousands of dollars. Like, okay.
How did you get your money though? Like, I've heard a lot of producers struggle with getting their money or like
Yeah.
handling the business side of maybe they send beats and then their beats get used and then they hear the songs come on. They're like, oh shit, I know I should be getting money from this. What do I do? How do I do it? Real quick, I want to introduce you guys to Royal Legacy Clothing. If you didn't know, I'm the co-owner of Royal Legacy Clothing. It's a lifestyle brand. When my business partner reached out to me about starting a clothing line, at the time he had a clothing line that was called Crazy Cartel. It was young, wild, reckless, bright designs, crazy, you know, money, skeleton stuff. And I wore it and supported it because he was my friend. I told him, for me to have ownership in a brand, I want it to be something that I'm proud to wear, and I feel like it's a good representation of who I am and who I want to be. And so we decided to start Royal Legacy Clothing. We started this back in 2013. It's been a journey. Selling clothes, it's hard to do because I know that technically you guys don't need this. So my job is to make you want this. And so our goal with Royal Legacy Clothing is to attract like-minded people. What I picture when I think of Royal Legacy Clothing, it's the person that has tenacity. It's the person that continues to show up, they don't give up, they pursue, they keep fighting. It's the person that arrives early and stays late. They have that hunger inside of them, that dog in them. And it's a cool feeling when I see people out and they're wearing Royal Legacy Clothing, and you know, it's something that has meaning to it. You know, so this is our current drop right here. You guys can use coupon code CRACK, save some money, get a discount. Appreciate all you guys' support. Check out royallegacyclothing.com. Don't forget to use coupon code CRACK. They reach out to artists leaves them on red.
Bro, it's all case by case for real. Like, cause, well, for one, you want to be registered with ASCAP or BMI, and
How hard is that?
That's easy. That's easy. That's like, I think BMI like is like $50 or something.
One time or?
One time.
Okay.
And then like I've had Song Trust for years. Like I still use it. Like
how do you use it?
Like so it's a pub admin. So like basically you have to have like you got to be registered with a PRO, which is a performance rights organization, aka BMI, ASCAP, and then in other countries they have different societies or whatever. But we're in America, so basically if you're in America, it's those two. BMI is what I use.
And then real quick,
you get, huh?
what does the producer do on there? Let's say he's listening to this right now. He's
Okay.
like, all right, thank you, Danny G. I just went and signed up for BMI. I just paid the $50. I'm signed into the dashboard. What do I use this website
Okay, so you
for?
got BMI. Like you can register the songs through BMI by yourself, but you're not gonna get like all the mechanicals, or there's different royalties in different territories that say a pub admin is gonna collect for you as well. They'll register. So say like you get your BMI, go ahead and get Song Trust, and boom, that's like $100. So you're not really. It's not that expensive. It's like maybe 150 or something
Okay.
altogether, and you when you register with Song Trust, they have access to your BMI. So when a song comes out, so let's say I get a song right now with like Tron on his next album on Luka Doncic 2, which that's on the way. But I'm gonna just register the song, right? And I'm gonna have like you just need everybody's IPI numbers, which is basically like your ID, like for BMI. It's like it's like your number, your specific number. So it's like, say you and me made this beat or whatever, and then it's for like Tron or something, right? So like the way we would register it is like 50% of it is BabyTron's, and then you and me split the other 25-25. And so I just register everybody's stuff. And it's really that simple. That's just the publishing side.
Okay.
So that's like simple because once you do that, it takes a while. It takes like 9 months for them to like collect on that specific song, but you'll start seeing checks. But that's what they do. They'll register it with all the other societies. They register it to your BMI, so you don't even need to go into BMI and like register it. They'll just do that, and then they'll collect all that stuff. So, and publishing is like, you don't want to sleep on publishing, because then the next hard thing is like getting your points and everything, like producer agreements. Like that's a lot of times there's a lot of people that got a lot of motion musically, and they're just like independent. They don't really have, or they're like with Empire or something, right?
Yeah.
Empire kind of like leaves it up to the artist. Like that's the way like their deals are, right? Like they're not like full on deals. It's just like distribution deals. They kind of like, they'll give the artist like a budget, and they're
Not
and they
for a song.
whatever
Okay.
project or whatever, it's usually like for albums and stuff. But say they give you like I don't know, like 40,000 or something for like a project.
Okay.
They give you that money, and it's up to you to pay all your producers, like pay me like my advance or whatever. And then like a lot of times the artists, like they'll just be janky, and they'll just try to get off. So I'm not even trying to say like it's bad with everybody, but it's always going to be different, because you got like some people are independent, and they'll drop shit through DistroKid. So they can just, if you have a DistroKid account, you can just give them your email, and then they'll give you a percentage on like the master recording side.
It's so much simpler.
It is. It is, but then like, but that's the thing. Like a lot of people, like they graduate from that, and then they go to a major label because they got a bag for them. Be like, here's fucking 250K or $500,000 or $1 million or whatever the number is.
Yeah.
So they usually go with that, and they just like the label is kind of better because you just have a lot more resources.
How important do you think it is with establishing your brand as a producer and like moving like an artist? Because I see the chain. I got a cracker-like chain. I see the buffs.
Yep. It's interesting because for the longest time I was like, oh, I don't need any of that stuff. And you don't need it necessarily, but there is something to like I had long hair, like I grew my hair out, like
Yeah, you look crazy, bro.
I know I did, and I was like, this is like cool, like I don't give a fuck. But then I was like, I'm like kind of lit or whatever, so I'm like, all right, I need to just like get haircuts, and I don't know, maybe buy some Jordans, and I got like a chain, I bought some buffs, like I don't know. Yeah, it's good to like keep up with your image and stuff, but outside of just like that part of it, like, because you don't have to do that necessarily. I feel like you just kind of like got to be yourself, and you just got to be yourself, and just like, I don't know, put yourself out there, I think.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody the other day about how like nothing is wasted. No, like some person may have a job for 3.5 years at this random marketing firm, and then one day they want to be a rapper, and they don't see the correlation. But it's like, no, once you're a rapper, you're gonna have like higher marketing knowledge than everyone else because you had that job.
And that helps you too. I feel like when you when you like know how to do it and whatever, like say you go to like a label or something, you kind of know sort of like you're gonna learn more when you get to the label and see how they do stuff, but then you're gonna be able to be more efficient and then just know when things are being wasted because that happens at labels too, where resources get wasted because I don't know, like it just depends, like if they don't really care about you that much or whatever, like, or they might just have like they just might not be doing the right thing for you or something, or just spending money, extra money that you don't need. And if you know those things, like you worked at a marketing firm and you're like, oh, I can just save money and do that myself.
Did you ever rap yourself? Did you ever rap?
Do I rap? Yeah.
Or did you?
Rap? Like, yeah, I have raps.
Out?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. And I have like a British rap album that I'm about to drop. Yeah.
What led to that?
Just my cousin. I took my cousin to the hip hop lab and he's like a BabyTron fan. He was just rapping Rio and Tron lyrics like with a British accent. And I just thought it was funny, and then we were like, let's just make a song, and we made a song, and we're just rapping like British people.
And there made more songs?
Yeah, yep. And I got a British rapper on the album, too, and he's actually coming to the U.S. now, like on the 7th. His name's Harvey White.
Shout out to Harvey White.
Yeah, shout out to Harvey White.
Well, I brought it up because how I was saying, like, things correlate. I was saying, so I was a rapper. I had 16 albums out from like the age of 15 to like 22. 15 to 22, I put out 16 albums. And I was like, I remember at the time when I decided that being a music artist wasn't for me, it seemed like, but damn, that I'm throwing away these 16 albums and all this momentum that I built up. But then I realized me being the artist taught me to move like an artist. Because at the time when I transitioned, this is like 14 years ago, that was when I decided I didn't want to be a rapper. And I went on full on like,
14 years ago now.
Yeah, 14 years ago.
Okay, yeah, so it's been a minute.
But when I decided that, at the time, there was no one shining the light on the behind the scenes stuff. There was like, you didn't know what an engineer looked like or the producer looked like, besides Dr. Dre, Scott Storch, Timbaland, Pharrell, Quincy Jones, and maybe a few other people. But so I guess a lot of my success came from me creating content, showcasing, like, hey, making beats is cool too.
I know. I've seen it before. I've seen your stuff. I've known about you for probably like 5 years now.
I would say it's about the same because I met Primo in 2020. We went to Ypsilanti, the studio that he was working at.
I saw that video, and that's the thing is like before I met like Shitty Boys, like before I had like any other kind of motion, I had met Primo at the 1075 ciphers that DJ BJ used to host on every Friday for my friend Muncie. Shout out to Muncie. It was like one of the first. Yeah, Logan Muncie.
Oh,
yeah. Muncie's like he's pretty much one of the first rappers I like really locked in with. We grew up together.
Are you still producing shit for him?
Yeah, I for sure do. He's got like a Cypher Society thing that he does, and I make beats for it sometimes.
That's interesting because when I've seen clips from the Cypher get posted, I've always thought the beats are dope as fuck.
Yeah, I mean he's got other producers and stuff, but I produce
done some
a good handful of them, you know. But that's just like that's my dog. Like we kind of came up doing this shit together when like nobody cared at all. So shout out to him. But I was just tagging along with him to the ciphers because I just didn't know anybody. But I met Primo and I started working with Primo, like just cooking up. I learned a lot from Primo actually, like just like how to move like as a producer because he's very like he's like a sales guy. You know what I mean? He's a very outgoing person. He's managed restaurants. He manages a restaurant right now, but he's just a good salesman and a good like people person. And he always was good with social media and just good at like putting himself out there in the right way.
What's some key takeaways that you learned from Primo Beats?
Well, I think I was like kind of scared to show myself, and I was like, how do I do that? Like, what do I show people? Like,
I seen you through him. Like I seen him like posting stories and zooming in on your face and stuff, and I was like,
well, it was like the comedy shit that we would do. We would just do like silly dumb shit, like, and I think that definitely helped like give me some traction too, like in the sense of like obviously like fans and stuff know. They're like, oh yeah, like this song, Shitty Boys or whatever, this Vezo song. Like people like listened to the music and like knew I was. But then when I was putting myself out there and doing funny skits or whatever and just being myself, I feel like it helps you be more relatable to people. Cause there's people that aren't gonna like you or like the stuff, the content you put out, but to everybody that thinks that it's like cool or funny, they have like a person to attach to that now. They're like, oh yeah, he makes beats for BabyTron, and oh he makes funny stupid videos or whatever. And I don't do that often anymore. Like do skits, but I used to do skits.
What would you say?
I feel like that was like a good takeaway from Prima. It's just like just be yourself and put yourself out.
Yeah.
Post, be in the mix, like, and that's why I still do that. Like I travel all the time. And I'd rather pull up on people, like go to Atlanta, go to New York.
What would you say that's like getting in with artists? Because what I've experienced is everything is just relationships. So
Everything.
it's like being like this with a certain artist, and then they want to take care of you, so they don't want to like piss you off by doing bad business or not
Yeah.
giving you
But
credit.
some artists still do bad business with you though.
I think they're bad people.
Well, dude, it's a lot. It's complicated because before I just like, you know, make it like a black or white situation. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that gets involved. Like I said, for all the producers out there, have your BMI, ASCAP, whatever, Song Trust. If you can, get yourself an entertainment lawyer. Like
How much
you
motion
need somebody
they need to have going on before it makes sense for them to find a lawyer?
I feel like if you got like some decent, like some songs with some millions or whatever, like, and you want to get the business like handled, I feel like you can get lawyers that'll do work for like relatively cheap, at least, you know, make producer agreements or something, like, so it's feasible. But if you don't have like a big catalog, and like, because you don't necessarily have to have like really big songs, but let's say you have like a really big catalog that volume wise is paying, like, it might, but actually even then, like, it doesn't necessarily make sense like really early on. But if you don't have the lawyer, like, you definitely, you need like somebody to like talk to the manager if you can. But I don't know, cause I've done both. Like I've handled business on my own. Like sometimes it's not good, and sometimes that's the thing. It's always a case by case situation because you don't really want to have that conversation with the artist directly. Like a lot of times that just makes it weird and awkward.
Yeah.
Right or wrong, like it's not even necessarily like that it's wrong that you need to ask to do business with them, but it can just make it like you might say something like that comes off weird or something.
No, I get it. It definitely messes the feng shui.
Right. And then you guys are locked in, you're making good songs, and then it's like you have to ask a question. That's a hard question for a lot of people, especially producers. A lot of producers, like, they're kind of like quiet people or whatever. They don't really like talking to,
Yeah.
confrontation or whatever. Like,
Do most artists have managers that you work with, or do a lot of artists have no managers, and so you kind of have
a
to?
lot of them do. A lot of them do. Like most of the independent, like even independent artists have managers. I think it just depends on the level. Like if it's somebody that just like started working, like they might not. But if you're like really on the ground level, I feel like it's easier to have those conversations. But when things pick up, it can be hard to have those conversations. But I definitely am of the school of like, you need to sort of weigh things out. So, for example, like even the Shitty Boy song, like I remember kind of being like the first song I got on Stan Will's album. I'm like, yeah, like I want to get the splits on the back end, and he was kind of like, damn, like we just kind of want to buy the beat, and like I just didn't really like the idea of that, and I kind of like started to, maybe be like, because I was thinking I needed to do that
Yeah.
instead of like realizing like, oh, maybe you should just get in the door with them. Like, so it is okay to just be like, all right, well, I won't get any money up front. Like, I'm not gonna get an advance, or Maybe they won't give me money on the back end of the master, but I'll get my publishing, you know, like, so I don't know. I think it's just a case by case thing. Like, especially if you don't have any motion. I'm not suggesting that anybody just let people shit on them or like walk all over them, but sometimes you kind of got to take some shit. Cause imagine if I did that, like in that situation, I would have never like locked in with. I wouldn't be here right now if I was to press him about a beat on his album that did like hundreds of thousands of streams, but it wasn't like the biggest song in the world, you know, at the time. It was big for me.
Yeah. What's your strategy right now that you're focused on? Now that you have some songs out there bringing in some money, like, what is your focus right now? Is it locking in with artists and doing projects, getting in the studio?
Bro, I do. Yeah, I do that all the time. Like I do albums with. I've done like this last year. I did like 5 albums with like up and coming artists like Skid, Deja Doll. So Skid and Sweet Tea. Sweet Tea. I got Sweet Tea signed to the Hip Hop Lab, but I found those guys through Primo. Primo did a session with them, and he wasn't really a fan of their music, but I seen it, you know. But anyways, I got Sweet Tea signed, and yeah, so I did a whole album with Skid because he's independent. When we dropped that was last year. Deja Doll, she's still on the come up.
Are these artists, you're doing all the beats for the album? Are you doing
Yeah, I'm
engineering
producing.
too?
Sometimes I'm engineering. Like
What
sometimes
do you prefer?
I would rather make the beats, but I can engineer. I'm like a good engineer. I could mix, I can master, I can do everything. I can do everything start to finish. But say on those projects, I was working with another collaborator, and he owned a studio, and he was like, I'll just, for like 15%, I'll just record everything. And I just got to sit there and make beats and whatever. And I would rather do that.
Okay.
But I can, if I have to, I will.
Okay. You think that
Easily.
makes you more valuable in the eyes of the artist when they're like, as long
Absolutely.
as Danny's in the house?
Every time I've been on tour with Tron, like, guess who's come sitting when we're out of town in a studio and he doesn't like the engineer or like doesn't want to use them. Like, I'm the one that does it. Sometimes I don't want to do it, but I just have to do it because it's just like they don't, maybe like maybe Tron doesn't know how to like use like the equipment there, you know, because he can record himself.
Okay.
But it's been a lot of situations where I had to play that role too, like be the engineer. And I think that's definitely valuable. It keeps you in the room. Like, you want to be in the room. That's the only way, like, shit. Like, that's the way, like, you can play your beats. Like, all right, well, I'm going to pull up some beats. Like, you know?
Where have you found, like, being in the studio with a lot of these bigger Detroit area artists? Do a lot of them come to the studio where they already have a bunch of beats ready, or like, where do they seem to get beats from? Is the beat sent to them online?
Yeah, it just depends. Like, a lot of people, like, it depends. Like, they'll, all right, say like Rio or something, right? Like, Rio would come to the studio when I was working with him a lot at the time. Which I'm back working with him again, which is cool. Yeah, he'll have like beats in his phone, and then he'll be like, oh, pull some shit up. So same thing with Tron. Like, Tron's not gonna rap on every single one of my beats, but like he'll rap on this guy's beat, this guy's, and then he's like, all right, pull some shit up, do a couple songs with him. So, but it's still like you just got to be in the room. You just got to be there. Like, sometimes like an artist, like, you'll lock in with an artist and just make hella songs, but it depends on like the situation. Like, say the situation with Skid or like the projects that I do, like, that's like we're gonna do this, like, so we would do a whole album in like 4 days. I got Shaka Hustle, man.
That's who, the other day you said somebody brought my name up.
Yeah. It was Shaka Hustle, man.
Yeah, shout out to Shaka Hustle, man. I wanted him to come up here too. I love his energy.
No, I do too. Yeah, I found him on what's that dude, Tommy G. I seen he did like a thing with Tommy G, so I hit him up on Instagram, and then we just locked in. I had him come to Detroit. We did an album. So I be doing shit like that. Like, you know, like I said, I did like 5 albums. I got this compilation album that I'm gonna drop, like, where I'm rapping on it. I got BabyTron. I got a bunch of people, just different artists. Like, I got like 3 of them ready to drop, and then I got the British album. So I'm just doing shit like that, and then I'm trying to get placements too.
Okay.
Like on other, like on artists like albums and shit too.
What is your favorite music distribution company for like splits and stuff with artists?
I mean, I've had DistroKid for years,
Yeah.
so I like DistroKid. DistroKid, it's like you pay yearly, and then you can drop as much as you want, and then you get paid directly. You know, so that's cool because it's like you need a PRO, you need a
Sound
what is it?
Trust.
Yeah, Song Trust. So like an admin, a pub admin. You need Sound Exchange.
What's
And
that?
Sound Exchange, I forget what they. I think they collect. I don't think they collect on them. I forget what they collect on.
Okay.
But you definitely need it. Definitely look into it. I
Definitely.
need to brush up. I need to like be able to explain this. But
Yeah.
because so whenever it is, bro, it is. It's
And I
still
want to tell
confusing.
people too, like I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars as a music producer in the industry, and I don't know any of this shit.
That's
So
what's
it also
crazy.
gives you, I guess, optimism if you feeling like I want to be a producer and make money, and I don't understand any of the business shit. Like you can still make a lot of money.
Hell yeah. And trust me that a lot of people you think would know all this shit do not know. Like I've been in the room with like big artists that have generated so many streams and they don't even have their publishing. And I'm like, what? Like this is how I was eating. Like when, especially like when I was getting songs with people and they weren't giving me splits on the back end.
Yeah.
Like, cause I have a lot of songs like that where I didn't get certain royalties for it. I just never did, bro. Like I didn't get a producer agreement, like, cause that happens too, like, and you can go about the route of like, I'm gonna get the song taken down, but it's like I said, you gotta, this is chess, bro. You gotta be able, yeah, what's more valuable, like you getting a couple dollars, or not necessarily getting a couple dollars, cause say they're just like, fuck you, we're not gonna do it, and then you're just like, I'm gonna take the song down, like you'll never get a song with them ever again.
Exactly. And then they know people too that'll be like, yo,
Yeah,
don't fuck with Danny. This
for
happens.
sure, bro, and your reputation is everything too. You know, like. You don't want people to be talking about you in that aspect, like where they're like, yeah, like he just did some fried shit, like got my song taken down, and then yeah, exactly. They're gonna be like, all right, well, I won't work with them, which is kind of it's silly because like sometimes it's justified, but I don't know. It's like optics and shit and reputation. And you gotta balance that out. Like, you know, if you're in a situation where you don't feel like you got leverage and you don't need to take shit and you don't care, like go ahead. But sometimes it's better to just like, all right, well fuck it. Like I'll let them make all the money on that part of it, but I'll register publishing and I'll get like 10 more songs with them.
Yeah.
You know? And then boom, like if you don't really like how they move business wise, you can stop working them, but like say like they're like lit and they turn you up, and then you get to work with like 3 new artists that are lit and do business good, like that's a win, right? So you kind of just got to balance. I feel like you got to like weigh everything out. It's all individual. Like every artist is different.
Which artists are you most known for producing for? I feel like it's BabyTron, right?
I mean, shit, I can't
That's
really
the one
answer
that
that
came to my
question,
mind.
man. I mean, that's like people, probably BabyTron and Rio, I'd say probably like most well known for. I feel like,
Yeah.
but you know, I got like people that are fans of like the shit I did with DJ Lucas. DJ Lucas is probably he's one of my favorite people, one of my favorite artists. But you know, he's got like a cult fan base, but he's not like a big artist. But I for sure got stuff with him that people really love.
Do you remember how you felt like the first time that you knew that you were gonna be in the studio with BabyTron?
Oh yeah, dude, I think I was like kind of nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, it was chill. It was good. I think most of my me being nervous was like not so much like I was just worried about like fucking up the session because I wasn't that good of an engineer.
Okay.
So that made me nervous.
So what
But
advice would you give to an engineer who wants to be the dude in the studio with all these artists that want to probably move really fast? Like what advice would you give to them?
I would say like there's like a few key things. You don't even have to be the best. Definitely you want your skills to be up. Like you don't want to be like fucking up in the studio too much like and holding the session up. But like say you're not good at mixing or whatever, like and you just get like a good template that can sound decent.
Yeah.
Like that'll help you.
Yeah.
And then really like I said, you don't even like have to be a good mixing engineer. Like if you can just like be good at tracking and like work fast, that's almost like it's good. Like that and then being cool. Like, don't be weird, like just don't be weird. Just be like cool in the studio. Like, don't ask for like pictures and don't do weird shit. And if they like you, they're gonna keep working with you, even though they got a guy that they're like, all right, send the session to this guy. He's gonna mix it. But they'll like I like tracking with this guy. And then eventually, like, say you're a producer, it's like, oh yeah, now you can pull up beats. And like, if you play your role and play it cool, you know, you could pull up beats, and then you're buying yourself time to get better at engineering because you keep working. So, and then that's an ideal situation to be in.
And did Primo work at the hip hop lab as
Yeah.
well?
Yeah, he did. He used to work there.
Okay. Is the hip hop lab still open now?
Yeah, we're still open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, Primo left. Primo left engineering. He just doesn't engineer anymore.
Yeah, I remember seeing him post a lot of different things about not really loving that, but like loving the beat side of things.
And he's doing his thing. He's been getting big placements. This 2024, he did pretty well. He's still doing his thing. I just don't think. I think me and him talked about it too, like where engineering was like a good experience, like for him to leave his job to do that full time, like it did a lot for him. But I think, yeah, he just feels like it's not what he really wanted.
Okay.
And I'm not really like the biggest, like I don't really like to engineer. Like I do. I have love for it, but I would rather be producing.
Yeah.
So,
how do you promote yourself? What are different things that come to mind when I say promote yourself?
I don't promote myself as a producer or as an engineer. Like a lot of stuff is like word of mouth and like through my work. Like, to be honest, like, and I'm not like I don't know. I'm not like the best marketer. I really don't know shit. I feel like, to be honest, I'm not gonna like cap and just, you know what I mean. Like I know some shit, but I probably could tighten my marketing up.
Let's talk about it. What would be, when you think about, I seen you put out the GoPro a little bit ago.
Right, yeah.
So like Danny G beats on steroids when it comes to content, what would be some shit that comes to mind?
That's a good question because I feel like everything that I've been doing like has all helped. Like the placements help because people hear your work, and if you get big placements, a lot of people will hear your stuff. So you'll get people to follow you. Posting regularly on Instagram.
What type of shit would you like the most?
I don't know. For me, I just like I post like all the songs I do, and then I'll post like, some like pictures and beats. Like that's what I do.
Like the carousel post on Instagram.
Yeah, exactly. And then like that shit always goes up for me, and then I'll post like funny stuff on my story. Like I try to keep things within like the niche for the most part. Like I'm not gonna post like 1,000 memes or something, like, but I'll post a couple things like because that's just some shit I think is funny.
Yeah.
But I think like the way people see stuff is like, I guess like from the outside looking in, that's like probably a good thing because you're like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like you're just kind of showing like maybe your sense of humor or something, like.
Because you're funny as fuck.
Yeah.
I think I know that from the stories that you posted, or I guess shit that
right, yeah. Like I try to do. That's just me though. Some people are more serious or whatever, and like whatever works for you. Like the rapping and shit. Like I got videos out like with Skin Sweet Tea. Like they kind of got me to rap, and it's just like, I mean, they got like 30,000 views on them, 40,000 views. Like not like crazy, but like that's another like marketing thing. Like I did a song with Cluner that had 1 million views. It was called Mount Caucus, and it had 1 million views on Say Cheese. Like I got 1,000 followers from that.
Okay.
I just like woke up the next day and it was like it went crazy. But it's us rapping on one of my beats.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like marketing.
Registered, published,
yeah, all that shit. Yeah, it's like our song, but like I produced it, so I like made most of the money from it. I feel like.
Yeah.
But still, like the whole point is like that's a good piece of marketing too. Like I rap and I drop music, but I don't drop it because I'm like I'm about to be a rapper. Like I just do it for fun, and some people like it, and it's still like good exposure. And I got the GoPro, so I really got a bunch of footage I got to edit, but I'm gonna drop that on YouTube. Like So that's like a whole different thing that I haven't really done. I haven't really vlogged. Like I've recorded stuff to do vlogs, but never edited it and put it out. So I think, but I have a couple of vlogs
Okay.
from like 2 years ago.
I love vlogs. I love seeing
Yeah.
what it's like to be in the room with people without being in the room, because I think that's what everyone wants to see.
Mhm.
That's always been my approach to whenever I have somebody vlogging. It'll be like, hey, we're gonna, let's say we're in New York City and we're going to a studio for 5 hours. It's like, hey, we're actually here in New York for 5 hours, but the vlog should just be a summary of all of the best moments from these 5 hours to respect the viewer's time. So if that ends up being a 5-minute really funny video, or a 30-minute video, or a 40-minute video, however long it needs to be, with all of like the best shit.
No, yeah, that's cool. So like, I that's actually funny because that's what I was just doing in New York. It wasn't about vlogging, but I was at the Empire Studio for like 3 days.
And doing what? So Empire, they are.
Well, Empire, yeah, they're like they're a label. But I was just at their office in New York. I was just making beats. I was making a beat pack for Lucky, and I was just kind of getting to know like the VP, Bobby Fischer, and just hanging out for real. Like,
And how did you guys meet?
well, I met through Rio's A&R, Harrison. He just connected me. I was like, I'm in New York. Like, who can I go to the studio? Can I link with anybody? Because I have a relationship with him, And he's like, oh, okay, I'll put you in a group chat with Bobby, and so that's how that happened.
Okay, nice.
But I wasn't working with an artist. I met an artist while I was up there. Like sometimes I go out on missions and I'm not necessarily working with an artist or something. Like I'm kind of just seeing what's up. But I did vlog. I was vlogging out there.
Fuck yeah.
And I just have to edit the footage. But I know that's like your thing now. You do content.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
How do you like edit videos and stuff?
Real quick, if you're a music artist and you're looking for the smartest, most effective, most efficient way to go about promoting your music in 2025, I got something for you. I sat down, I was thinking about it like, man, if I were to really help an independent music artist promote their music, what would I do? And I knew it would be creating content on social media, but then I started thinking about what type of objections would music artists have? One would be, man, I don't have time. So I needed to create a system that would be, the shortest amount of time, maybe like 1 day a week, maybe 1 day a month. And then the next thing would be, well, what if they don't have a camera or they don't, have the money to buy a laptop? So I was like, okay, well, what if they just shot it with their phone, edited it with their phone with a free app like CapCut? What I did was I walked you guys through how to optimize your social media, how to come up with the ideas, what equipment you may or may not need or could use. And then I walk you through where I was actually with specific music artists and I show you guys how to create different types of content that actually works to promote your music. Then I walk you through how to edit the content. And then I go through posting the content on all different platforms. There's other bonus. If you guys are interested in that, go to crackhousestudios.com. When you go to the website, you'll see an area that says courses and coaching. You'll go to courses and then you'll see the one on promoting your music. Check out the course. Back to the podcast.
Yeah. Now we're expanding to where there's multiple roles. So like Malik here is producing this entire podcast. Where in the past, we'd set everything up, hit record, and then afterwards, I would be the one editing the podcast, and then pay somebody to film a vlog, capture all the behind the scenes, give me the memory card, and then I would be the one to edit everything. But then it's like the post-production takes a lot of time.
Right.
And then now that there's short form too, it's like in the past I could sit down for a half of a day and knock out like a YouTube video edit.
Yeah.
But then now I know
Now you gotta cut. You gotta make
best bang for the buck is like knock out the YouTube edit. You're not done yet, and then take a little short form from the YouTube, and then now it's a whole,
because the short form gets people onto the
long form.
long form.
Yeah, just like this podcast. Not that many people will sit down and listen to us talk for an hour and a half, but we're gonna have some moments that people will listen to the 30 seconds of you talking about bus or telling different stories. So I don't know. It's like you have to do everything, and I don't know. I feel like if I didn't do content, I would have lost a lot of value. How you're talking about being valuable in the room, the fact that you can do the beats and the engineering. I've always been that guy too that can offer, kind of solve the whole problem, start to finish, like make the music.
Like my friend Timo, Timo like designed this chain. Like he did like he's designed so many people's chains, and whatever. But he's like a graphic design guy, but he's also a rapper, like, and he's also shoots videos. He can just do like a bunch of shit.
I think people completely underestimate like how beneficial skills in one area can impact skills in another, and it's like that you get an unfair advantage and a head start. So like the fact that if somebody makes beats and then if you add engineering, there's so much similarities to it, and then if you add like rapping, there's a lot of similarities. Then if you add video editing, it's like, oh, this is the timeline, these are my tracks, very similar to engineering or Pro Tools. And
Yeah. No, you're right though, and it's kind of crazy because now that I think about it too, like, I was apprehensive to learn engineering because I was afraid that it would take me away from making beats. So I was like, no, I just need to put everything into beats, which is true. You got to specialize in something, I feel like. But like if you learn some other shit, like it's going to help you. And like I used to trip out about that cuz I'd be at the studio and I feel like I did fuck up opportunities because I didn't have enough beats cuz I was engineering all day and I didn't have time to make them and I had no sleep. So like I'm like, damn, like I'm not. I always would feel like I wasn't getting anywhere, which is not true. But I just felt like I was wasting my time sometimes because I'm like, I want to make beats, but I have to do this. But really, what was happening is like I was learning a new skill that was going to help me, and down the road, and get me into other rooms. It gets you in the room. Like imagine this: you're a producer, you got fire beats, you meet an artist. Like, I don't know, like a lit artist or whatever. Like, maybe just an artist. Maybe they're going to pay you for studio time or some shit or buy beats. But, like, they're like, we want to record right now. We got a studio. We just need an engineer. Like, all right. I can do this shit right now. Or, like, you can come to my house or whatever the fuck. Like, come to my studio. I can record you right now, 3 a.m. So.
I mean, that's
probably the same thing with, like, shooting a video. Like, oh, I could shoot the video. We could just do all this shit right now. You don't got to call anybody.
that's been my my business journey has been, because in the beginning I was a rapper and I was making my own beats and I was recording, mixing my own songs. So that was like the original set of skills that I had. And so when I had my first few clients, it was like, okay, you're a rapper. Okay, you can't come to the studio if you don't have beats. So step one, you're gonna get some beats from me, cool. And then now we do the studio session. And then it was they finished the project, and I was a rapper at the time too. So when I finished my project, I wanted to get physical CDs made.
Yeah.
And then I had looked into some other companies and I had to get thousands of them. And I just needed like 50, 100, 200 or something like that. So I ended up looking into it and I did it DIY. And then when people seen my CDs, they're like, oh shit, where'd you get your CDs done?
Right.
And so I started doing the math like, okay, well, it cost me about this much to make 100. I could charge 100 for 100. And then I started that business. But then, and even with starting that business, in order to have the CD, I needed to have a picture taken of me and graphic design to have the CD cover. So it was like I naturally wanted to rap, so I learned how to make beats. And then I wanted to rap, well, I needed to record and mix and master. And then I rapped enough times on enough songs, and then I had a body of work. So I'm like, fuck, I need to learn photography to take to take pictures of other people and teach other people how to take pictures of me. And then it was like I needed graphic design, and then I designed the cover, and then I needed the CD duplication, so I started a CD duplication company. And then one day it was like music videos started getting asked about, so I did music videos. Kind of every step of the way has been that.
That's crazy. Yeah, you got a lot of talents, bro.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know. I need to branch out, I feel like. But
it's like, okay, so when you make beats, it's a way to fill your creative cup. And what I've learned is, and then also like when you mix a song, it's like an artist is rapping, it's raw as hell, and then you bring it to life. It fills your creative cup. Well, I've done that with content. I've done that with videos. And now where I'm at is more entrepreneur. I'd say full-on entrepreneur, creative entrepreneur. And so now I'm creating a company with positions, and it's like it's another way of filling my creative cup. But like it all stems back to me being a super creative person with ADHD.
Well, I mean, I see how you built this whole thing, which is really cool. In my opinion, I think this is cool. And they might have started with rapping, but that's another thing too. I think that people need to consider is like when we like set off on this journey to get into something creative. and maybe it's like you want to make beats, or like maybe he was like rapping and shit, right? You think you got this like tunnel vision where it's like this is gonna be what happens. Like 10 years from now, I'm gonna be whatever, like, which is cool, but like don't discount the fact that like it's a whole life journey. Like it's like we have like a small window of time on Earth because that's just life, and you do got to make the most of your time and everything and be efficient. But like people forget, like, all right, like I have time to figure this all out, and then sometimes that will evolve into something like as long as you're in the game. Like some people play ball and they don't actually make it to the NFL or NBA, whatever, right? So then they become like a coach.
Yeah.
But like you're still in the game though.
Yes.
So like you didn't lose. You never lost. You're still in the game. Like like as long as you can stay in the game, like you won.
It's just a level of self-awareness that I think is rare, because there's a lot of people that like you could hear their music and realize there's not much there, but they have no idea. They're completely oblivious of it. And like a shout out to my self-awareness to be aware enough at the time. It was like I had been rapping for maybe 7, 8 years and also producing for 7 or 8 years. And I knew if I was playing a beat I made, I could leave the room and I knew for a fact it was dope. But if it was a song I made, I'd constantly be like,
Right,
is he
yeah.
fucking with it? Is he not in his head? Are they liking it? I don't know. Maybe I should I should probably not play that song for people and rewrite something better. My delivery or my
Right.
voice sound too high pitched and it should be smoother. Constantly shit with music. And so I would always just, and I guess analyze. And then I realized like, man, I'm poor at the time, about to be a dad. I have 16 projects out now that I hate, because it was like, I dropped the first project and that was the best that I was capable of doing. That was like the best rapping I could possibly do. And then I started making a few other songs and I'm like, oh wait, this CD sucks. This new shit is good. And I did a whole second project and I'm like, all right, now I'm sweet. My plan was to make a demo of my best songs and go to New York and try to find a manager.
Right.
And I thought I had a unique twist because everyone else was trying to get a record deal.
Right.
I was like,
yeah.
no. I read the music industry secret book.
Yeah, that one, Everything You Need to Know, that book.
Yeah, I read that. And I was thinking, man, everyone's trying to get the labels. Well, a manager only gets a percentage of what you make. I'm going to try to find a manager and have the manager help me get a deal. And so that was my plan. And then I would be like, all right, as soon as I finish this project, I'm going to make the best songs. And then I would finish that project, start making a couple new songs. And my voice changed drastically from like one CD to the next, to where if you listen to 16 CDs, it almost sounds like 16
different person.
different people. Yeah. And I mean, they say in music, the hardest thing to find is your voice. And like,
Right.
I could clearly say I didn't find my voice.
Yeah, I mean, well,
Try British rap.
bro, I was gonna say like I kind of like I think some of my raps, like I feel like the first like song I ever did that had a video which like did pretty well. Like I feel like I fucked with the bars on that, but I'm like I'm like a corny dude, so like I don't do the shit like seriously. Like the shit's just a fucking joke.
I was serious as fuck.
It's a joke. Like it's me rapping, like. So I don't really give a fuck, but I feel you on that though, because like I have a lot of songs where I'm like, damn, like I don't know about this. Even the British rap, like some of the stuff, I'm like, I feel like I could do this better. But the British rap thing was kind of cool, because it allowed me to like play a different character.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I felt a lot more comfortable because it's like I'm like I'm me, but I'm just like playing a different character. So I'm not like hyper focused on like, because it's just silly. So I don't know. That just like helped me like be creative with it. That's just like a fun project. I just think it's like funny. Like I don't know.
I feel like reinventing yourself is super important with being successful. And I think that's what I've done with when I decided to go by Crackalack. And my actual name is Nick. And when I would run into certain people, they're like, what's up, Nick? And I would like correct them and introduce myself and be like, it's Crackalack. Eye contact and everything. I don't know. It was like, I think when you create this new character, it's the best version of you. So it's like they're strong in
Yeah.
areas that you're weak. If you're insecure, Crackalack is confident as a motherfucker.
Right. Yeah.
If Nick is weak, well, Crack is cool as hell. He's strong. He's this, that, and the other. And
Yeah.
but yeah, I noticed a lot of who I wanted to become with
Yeah,
that version.
you kind of can push that because it's like and I think that's like that's a good marketing technique for artists and producers and stuff. Like you can, well, my name's just like my name, but aside from that, like you can just kind of push a narrative. I'm not saying to not be yourself, but you can just create this character.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of it. Like I feel like, you want to be like a likable character in a way or something.
I say it's like being intentional with what is the 2.0 version of Danny G, and then
Oh, yeah,
how we
yeah,
talking before off camera, like if smoking in the past made you feel a certain way.
I got a couple new names, by the way. I got the Final Cousin and Daniel Gaffel. And
Gaffel.
yeah, a gaffel is just like dog shit. It's just like
I thought it was a judge thing.
no, that's a gavel, but a gaffel is just dog shit. Like just a lot of cash.
Oh, okay.
Like you ever see like a big ass stack of money, like Rio pull up? It's like a gaffel.
Okay.
Yeah, but they just call me Daniel Gaffel and Danny Grease. Shout out to Wayne616. Just gave me all him and the other Grease guys gave me those names. But yeah, you see, they're nicknames. You just play off that shit.
That's how
Show
Crack House came about. It was
from Cracklight.
similar to like the crack. I put the crack in the Crack House.
What's the crack? What's the crack from?
Yeah, so at the old studio, and I didn't have a name for it. It was just like I was Crackalack, and this was my studio. So people on the phone, I'd hear them be like, "Oh, I'm in studio with Crack. I'm at Crack Studio." But then on the intro of someone's song, they were like talking shit on the intro. They're like, "Yeah, you know what's going on?" And they said, "We live from the motherfucking Crack House." But he said it, and I was like, "Oh, call the studio the Crack House. That's cool.
That's good.
Welcome to it." And I was like, there's lots of double entendre, like rap music. You're cooking up dope. I'm making the beats. That it was all trap beats too.
You're cooking up that crack. I like that. You got a sweet logo too. I don't know where it's not over here. Yeah,
no, I fucking see you. Yeah,
with the little house and shit.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
I love branding, and I think branding is like the separation factor between, like if you're looking at, this bottle of water, this bottle of water, one of these was like 10 cents or 4 cents a pack, and this one was 2 or 3.
I mean, that is crazy because like if you look at the colors on this, like it's got like a nice blue tint.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, this shit just looks nice. This looks inviting. You're like, I want to drink this shit. Yeah. This shit's it's from the French Alps. That must be crack.
Yeah.
No, I do actually, shout out to Evian. That's my favorite water.
But yeah, like after this, we're about to do a vlog making beats in the studio, and you'll see it's just Crack House everywhere, and that's the goal of one part of the next chapter is taking a page out of like Hip Hop Lab, No Jumper, Lyrical Lemonade, World Star Hip Hop, On the Radar. It's building a platform. Because right now everyone can come through and like create the product, but then the biggest problem that everyone has right now is like marketing, promotion, exposure.
That's everybody's biggest thing. Yeah. People just don't. I mean, even with me too, like dropping some of my albums and stuff, like I might not do like rollouts because I'm figuring that stuff out right now. Like that's like a big thing, like having a rollout. I think it's great to just drop music too. Like, don't get me wrong, but like don't not drop the music, but like at least like try to do some kind of rollout. And like if you kind of are struggling with it, like, and you just try or whatever, just like you'll figure it out over time. So it is better to just drop the music than to just sit around and be like, yeah, I'm gonna find a video guy, I'm gonna figure it out, I'm gonna do I'm about to drop it like next year. Like, nah.
What would you do if you wanted to?
And you can shoot a video for an old ass tape, like if you really wanted to. You could push an old song, like that's what happened with Fetty Wap. Like Trap Queen, like that was like a 2-year-old song, I think, and they just pushed that.
If you were an independent rapper, you're 18 years old, you're out of high school, all you listen to is BabyTron and songs produced by Danny G,
Mm-hmm.
what would be your kind of like first year or 2 years or kind of like to get started?
Like, what you mean, like you want to make that type of music?
Yeah, you want
you
to
wanna
be a
rap
rapper.
like-
You're
okay.
living in Detroit.
I think for rappers, you know, we got the social media, like you got like the TikTok and everything, and I think you need to get good at doing content. I'm not a fan of it, bro, to be honest. I'm just gonna keep it real. Like, this is my opinion. I fucking hate that shit. Like, I don't want
You're
to.
not good at it yet.
Well,
How
that.
you were talking about engineering, you said at first.
Yeah, no, there's like a fear element of like, oh shit, I got to learn how to do TikTok. Like, this is not fun. This is like, you know, and then it's like my Instagram like does pretty well. So then like having to do a TikTok, like, you know, I'm just being honest. Like,
Yeah,
having to do a TikTok and then like be like, oh fuck this, I got like, you know, 1,000 followers on here. Like, I don't really have shit going on, and like you just like don't know what to post. I don't know how to do the reels. I don't know how to edit all the shit on there and make it look sweet. Like, you know, everybody else on TikTok that like knows how to use the shit. So yeah, there's that element to it. But I was gonna say that I think that's a really big thing. Like, don't sleep on the content, like the short form content that you could do, like with the song, like, and then even like the collaborations, like collabing with people, like other artists, other producers, other engineers. You know, that's like a big thing. And like, and then yeah, you want to do music videos, but definitely I feel like the content right now is kind of king. But make good art though too. Like, don't just be making stuff to try to go viral, and like that's just weak. Like, I don't think that's gonna stand the test of time ever. But I think if you're starting from ground zero right now and you can get, you know, get some beats, maybe you find like a producer and an engineer, like lock in with those guys and maybe a video guy, but like make TikToks.
Yeah. There it is, content.
Yeah, I really just think like that's gonna get you noticed, even with like a label. If you can blow up on TikTok, you know, labels are gonna like Ankith Woods, like that's an artist I found like before he blew up. Like, he just blew up on TikTok, and like now he's got a ton of labels after him now.
What is your move when you?
But that's what he does. He does content. Like, he's a rapper. He's a good rapper. I think I fuck with him. You know, and that's the homie too. But no, like I think the content really got him noticed.
I mean, how I discovered any artist in the last 2 or 3 years has been from, I see something on Instagram or TikTok, it's somewhere on social media, they get my attention, and this is where they always lose me, so do not do this if you're a music artist, is, you know, they're lucky. If you're a music artist, you're lucky if your post pops up on somebody else's timeline that has no idea who you are, that you even existed. And then you're even luckier if they like it. So, you know, the worst thing you can do is put something out there that's not out right now, because what's going to happen is it pops up. Oh shit, who is this? This is dope. I see the caption, pre-save drops some other time. I scroll and I forget about you in 4 hours.
Oh yeah, for sure. Drop the music. Definitely drop the music. That whole pre-save thing, like, I think works for established artists or like people that already have like motion, because then the fans can be like, all right, I'll pre-save. But if you're just new, definitely like put the shit out and then make the content and start pushing the content, because then they can Shazam or they can click on the link or whatever it is, and they can find the song and listen to it. You know, you can get the conversion there. Get them to go to your YouTube, get them to go to Apple Music, Spotify and stuff, and actually get the streams from it, and get them to actually listen to the song before, like you said, like if it's just like you don't have any shit out and you're just doing like a Triller or something, and like they're gonna get bored of that. They're gonna be like, oh, that was cool. Next.
How could people work with Danny G?
Man,
What's the best place to get a hold of you?
I probably Instagram, bro. Probably Instagram, but I feel like I have to be like more selective with my time and stuff. And I even feel like to this time right now, I'm still trying to navigate that and figure that out.
It seems like
So I can't just be working with everybody all the time.
It seems like from my point of view, observing that you have 1 foot on the current or the previous level that you've been on, and 1 foot on the next one, and it's this transition period of
That's where I'm at right now.
how do I operate now? But I think I know that you'll figure it out over these next few months.
Yeah, that's for sure. I'm trying to be like heavy on the growth right now. So like that's another thing too, where I think a big thing for me was like, I was in like a relationship that wasn't working out, and it wasn't like we didn't hate each other. It's no like bad blood, bro. But after that weighed on me because I think she couldn't handle the lifestyle, which is fine because, she wanted something else out of life. So boom, there's that. That was putting me down. I wasn't taking care of my health. Like I was just eating junk food all the time, and I wasn't working out, and I think that took a toll on me. And so now I'm kind of starting over fresh right now, where I'm.
How recently?
It's been like a few months. It's been a few months now. Like I've been going to the gym every day, minus like I've been all over. I've been out of town, like to New York and Atlanta, like so many times in this past like 6 months or whatever. So like, yeah, I might not work out for a few days then, but when I come back home, I'm pretty much every day.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then I've been trying to watch like what I eat too, like because I noticed my health was deteriorating. Like my hands were going numb, and I'm like, I'm drinking pop and I'm like eating bullshit and I'm not working out. Like, and I'm getting fat. So I'm like, this is not good. This trajectory is not looking good. But it was fucking up my creativity too. So I feel like part of like my transition right now, outside of like the career, like the position I'm in already, like in order for me to like actually benefit from that is like I gotta take care of myself. So that's what I've been on lately.
Where do you think you operate as far as like this is the middle, and then this end of the spectrum is anxious, and then this is like super present and peaceful? Where you? Because I tend to be on the anxious.
Yeah, me too. I've been getting better. I noticed that like working out helped me with that. Working out and being more mindful with like eating, like not eating too much, and maybe like that helps me like for sure. But also meditation, I've been like kind of rediscovering that. Like I've discovered it. My mom was always into meditation, like since before I was born. She did transcendental meditation. And it's just a type of meditation, you have like a mantra and stuff, and you just sit there in silence and you just go deep within. But I used to like laugh at that shit. I was like a kid, so I'm like, this is silly. Like my mom's sitting there for 20 minutes, like look at her, like this is weird. Like it's just like it wasn't cool or whatever. Like when I was a kid, and I have ADHD, and I'm like I can't sit down. Like that's retarded. Like or stupid. You probably, I don't know. I don't give a fuck if you keep that in there. It's up to you if you want to keep that in there. But anyways,
so now,
no, yeah. So my mom was always telling me about meditation. She's like, yeah, you need that. Like you're always stressed or like you're always anxious. Like you can use that. It really helps. And I'm like, I've kind of come to the terms where I need to try it. I was doing it the other day, but I need to do it more often. But I think that's the key. Because I know a few people that like recently, like some of my friends that really got into it, and it seems to be helping them, like that anxious stuff to like bring you more present, where all the creativity can like you can actually do something with it.
Yeah.
Because that's the problem is like I think there's a level of anxiety that we need for sure. It like keeps us like on our toes, but you want to try to like lower the neuroticism. I feel like because
it's just a word, G.
Well, I mean, shit. I'm as neurotic as it gets. I feel like.
What did you call it?
Neurotic. Neuroticism.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not that smart, bro. But
no, you just look smart as fuck for about 15 seconds there.
Yeah, I'm not that smart. I just know a couple things, but that's being like really anxious and worried, and maybe having like negative thoughts with that stuff, like. Yeah. And that being like a state of mind that you're in regularly a lot, like that's neuroticism, and it's not good for you.
Right.
And it can make you make bad decisions. So you want to try to center yourself. And I think that taking care of yourself and doing all those things helps you stay a little away from that. I also don't really do drugs at all. I don't do drugs. I mean, I kind of messed up like a few times, like got high or whatever, but I don't know. I don't drink and I don't smoke and I don't do anything because I feel like that makes that worse too.
You said something before we started filming. You said, I don't do it because it makes me
Not give a fuck.
not give a fuck.
And I can't afford to not give a fuck. So, yeah, I mean, that's just me, bro. Like, I can't, well, like, even like smoking, like, fucks my lungs up. Like, especially like the older I got too, I'm like, dude, I can't, like, if I smoke some weed, like, I'm just gonna feel like my chest is gonna be tight and I'm not gonna feel good. But yeah, like, basically that. I'm gonna want to eat a bunch of food. And I'm probably gonna eat spaghetti, pizza, ice cream, and like eat like 5 different things that like don't go together. Yeah. But I'm just high. Like I'll eat Arby's. Like I remember doing that when I was younger. Like I got really high and went to Arby's and Taco Bell. Like, bro, I just remember being like, "What am I doing, bro?" But like just like high shit, bro. And then like I just don't give a fuck. Like I don't care. And I'm like, oh, I'll do this later. It's like pretty soon you just are just a fucking potato, and you're like just getting high. Like
the highest I ever got was from an edible. I had a friend named Marie, and she made a puppy chow edible, and it was like a snack side.
Yeah, that's like the little checks.
Yes, covered in like melted chocolate, peanut butter, powdered sugar. It's fucking amazing.
I know, it's so good.
Well, I was in the studio, and she had dropped it off for me to sell to people at the studio. Well, then I was like, you know what? I'm fucking starving. I still have 2 hours left in this session. I'll just snack a little bit, and I'll go slow to see if it creeps up. And so I opened the bag, and, I might have had one, and I'm like, damn, this shit tastes good. Man, I'm hungry as hell. There's so much left. Okay, the session's going. I'm letting 5, 10, 15 minutes go by. I don't really feel anything. Let me snack a little bit more. So I'm snacking. Now, about an hour in, I got an hour left, and the bag's halfway gone.
Oh, shit.
It's been an hour. And I'm noticing, like, I feel a little different, but I don't feel that different. And so then I full sent it and I ate cold back, right?
Wow.
Session gets done. I stand up, and at this old studio is a long hallway. And when I was walking down the hallway, it felt like I was at a circus or something, like the mirrors, like the optical illusion shit. Yeah. And then, I remember driving home, and I lived like 15 minutes from the studio, and it felt like I was driving for like 3.5 hours. And I almost pulled over and called an Uber because the cars were going so fast next to me. And they were going like 70. It was a vroom, vroom.
Right, yeah, you were probably going 50 on the freeway.
I get home, and I remember, like I was saying, eating random shit. I remember opening up a bag of like barbecue chips, and I would like look thoroughly at every chip. Like, this is amazing. Like, this came from a potato, and it's thin sliced and baked and seasoned to perfection. And I would just take a bite and just,
Right.
Then I opened up.
You just get into everything. Like
the nacho cheese Doritos, and it was the same process. And then it was the Cool Ranch blue Doritos.
Bro, no reason at all.
Then I ate a bowl of cereal. I put toast in the toaster, and I went to sleep and forgot, so I left it in there. I warmed up some leftover, like an actual warm meal. But that's like what I ate. And my wife at the time was working. She was in bed, and I lay down with her at like 3 in the morning. She had to be up at like 6 in the morning. I turned on American Dad, and I was just like laughing. But I felt like I was sinking into bed.
Yeah.
And she was just so caught off guard with like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, it's 3 in the morning, you're up, like, turn the TV on, the lights on, you're laughing, looking at me. And it lasted the following day too.
Oh, wow, yeah, you were still high the next day.
Yeah.
That's the thing with edibles, bro, is like, you're like, your body's metabolizing it differently.
Absolutely. So like, it was almost like when I would eat lunch the next day, I got high again. And then it was almost like every time I ate.
It's still like processing it. It takes a long time. Yeah, for edibles, dude. Talk about getting a panic attack or some shit. Like, if you eat too many of them. Yeah, I don't know. But getting high is like.
I like your reason now.
Yeah. But it's fun though sometimes. It's like I was sober for like 5 years, and I like fucked up. I just like dabbled with like I drank some lean like a good handful of times, like. And it was like, I did come to the realization, I was like, dude, like, this was like kind of fun, but it's like, it's not that fun. Like, I'm gonna just go back to not doing this.
Okay.
But it was like, it was enjoyable to like let myself go for like a little bit, let loose. I mean,
With tracking.
yeah, like it was cool. Like I was like working, I was in the studio and I'm like sipping lean and I'm like, oh, this is like kind of fun. But I kind of like, I quickly like jumped back into like, well, first off, like opiates are extremely addictive. So it's like, that's not some shit you want to really play around with. And then two, I was like getting irritable and then like not feeling like making beats or just being too high. And I was like, all right, yeah, we're not doing this anymore.
What's
So,
something that you've noticed that helps with creativity?
bro. mm, Bro, sometimes I need to go for a walk.
I was about
Or
to say
like
walking for me.
walking, yeah.
Go for a walk before you got here.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, bro, yeah, it helps you. It can help you clear your mind. And I think that's what you got to do. Working out helps me. Like if I work out in the morning, I always like feel pretty good. Like, all right, I did something good, and I feel better. Like I physically and mentally feel better. And so like I'm like, all right, cool. Now I can just dedicate. Like I don't feel like guilty. I think that's like another thing too. I think like because Jeff Bezos said something about anxiety, and it's like I think he said something. I'm paraphrasing, but he said something like along the lines of like, because you're procrastinating or something, right? So say you have all the shit to do, like you got to like take out the trash, you got to make your bed, you got work, you got school, you got this and this, but like when you don't have all that stuff done, like there's anxiety that creeps in. You might not even be fully aware that like your anxiety is coming from the fact that you didn't take the trash out for like 4 days and it smells, and then you're embarrassed, and then like your friends are like, maybe you got a girl that's gonna come over and you're like, fuck, like my house is a mess, like this is embarrassing, and all these, and you go down this rabbit hole, and then before you know it, like you don't even know like where it all came from. But I think that's another thing too, just executing, like just taking action, like helps too.
Yeah, absolutely. There was
And
one.
that'll help with your creativity. If you got a clean area and shit too, like you can lock in.
I agree. I agree.
But I'm a messy person though, so
Really?
dude, yeah, I'm messy. I'm not dirty. I'm just messy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have like food on like plates in the sink, but like, I don't know. I just got like papers and like just shit. Like, I'm like not the worst. I'm not like a hoarder or anything, but like, I don't know. Like, I can be messy. Like, throw my clothes on the floor in my room and then take like 2 weeks to pick it all up, and I don't know. Cause I'm busy. I'm always out of town. Like I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just in and out and here and there, and I got ADHD, so I don't know. I'm trying to get that tightened up though. But
Where's your favorite place to travel to?
I love New York. I like Atlanta. I like California. I wouldn't want to live there. I think California is like an interesting state though. Like the whole West Coast. Like, damn, I've been to every state. Like I haven't been to Alaska or Hawaii, but I've been to basically every single state. I would say like I thought Washington was a cool place. Washington, Oregon, California, but Florida. I like Florida too. I know a lot of people talk shit about Florida, but I like it.
I like Florida.
I love Florida, bro.
My favorite.
Miami,
Yeah.
and it's not even just Miami. There's other places like I haven't even been to the Keys. My mom loves the Keys, but like I heard that's like really nice. That's kind of like more tropical, like the Bahamas, I guess. Like it's got more of that type of vibe, but but
Do you remember the I guess the time period or kind of like the moment where you felt like, because obviously when you first started sending beats out, like there's no proof that like I guess you're a good producer yet, or like when was the moment where you felt like, all right, now a lot of people are kind of complimenting me on my beats or something, like I feel like I got something here? When was that?
I mean, I think it was like sometime in like 2020, but I was always critical and I still am. I want to say now I'm much more confident, but I'm also cool with like yeah, probably like 2020, 2021, like I had like some good stuff drop. But I always was kind of like critical on myself, and maybe had that like imposter syndrome stuff. And I also realized something now too, where because I don't necessarily trip out like I used to about placements, and if I'm the best producer or something, right? Like I also came to this this realization. I'm like, yeah, I'm good, and I'm great, and that's fine, and I can keep getting better. But like, there might be another guy that's like really good at like some shit I'm not good at, and that's fine. That's okay. Like, I know some producers around me that I think are like amazing, and like I think they might be better than me.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
But that's really like, this doesn't have anything to do with your success or anything, and your ability to like keep going and learn and get better or whatever. Like, but for sure, like, I don't know.
I think that's why I love collaborating with other people so much, is because even if you've been doing it for, say, 10 years and you're collaborating with somebody that's only been doing it for like 2 years, they still have something that they're doing that, like, you're like,
They have
oh
like a
shit, how'd
fresh
you do
outlook
that?
on it too.
Yeah, a different perspective, a fresh outlook. Like, there's a lot of shit, obviously, that the person's gonna learn from the person that's been doing it the longest.
Yeah.
But then,
But you still learn. You can still learn from the young up and coming producer that, or maybe not even young, but like a good producer that's been doing it not as long as you. You can still learn some shit. Like by Kyle, he's so good. Like, that's one of my homies. Like, me and him have done like a bunch of songs like with big artists at this point. We got like a bunch of collabs together, but like I just think he's like a really good producer.
Yeah.
He's a good all around producer, and he's taught me a lot of stuff. And he's only been producing since like 2019 or 20. You know, I started making beats in 2014, so
okay.
you know what I mean? I was on and off with it, but still, like, I was like doing it longer than he was. But he's just so, I don't know, he's so good. I learned a lot of shit from him.
And what's your favorite beat making software in the world?
FL Studio, man, FL Gang.
Would you ever get it tattooed on you?
Would I get it tattooed? I always said I wouldn't, but like, I just got this shit. I got a few tattoos, but I think I'm gonna just say fuck it and just do it. But I might get the FL Studio tattoo. I might do that shit.
Think about that, post. You change your
bro.
life.
I might, yeah. I might not get like Primo's where it's like right here and then like the big one. I might not do that. Like, I mean, he's got balls, man. I really admire Primo for that shit. Primo?
His balls, yeah.
Oh, pause. No diddy. But no, he really does. He just doesn't give a fuck, but in the right way though.
Yeah.
I appreciate that about him. Because most people are just like, oh, that's fucking crazy. You have the FL logo, like a giant fruit on your neck and on your arm. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, most people would say some shit like that, right? Most people would think that, but it's like, nah. He's just unapologetically himself, and he wants that shit there. And you can't hate on that.
Yeah, you gotta respect it.
You gotta respect it, bro.
It's a level of confidence.
Yeah,
right here.
He's just, I don't know. I fuck with Primo, man.
Me too. Well, I want to get into the beat making. Thank you for
yeah.
being on the podcast.
Oh, dude, yeah, for sure, man. Thank you for having me. I want to shout out everybody like Lando, you know, BabyTron, Shitty Boys, Rio, just everybody, all my producer homies, like everybody that spent money with me and believed in me and shit, man. I just, you know, shout out to all y'all.
Thank you to everyone for tuning in. You guys, if you're tuned in on YouTube, please subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, drop a comment, let me know what you guys think of the episode. I'm gonna put Bucks on for the first time.
Yeah, put those on real quick. Damn, different person, bro.
Different person here.
Wow, fancy.
Damn, that's a crack-a-lack beat.
Yeah, all right, yeah, you can wear them while we make beats if you want.
And yeah, guys, subscribe on YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify, please give it a 5-star review. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.
Yeah, follow me on Instagram, DannyG_beats. Yep, Danny G Beats on YouTube.
We out.